The conversation is centered on the controversy that continues to trail Kogi Senator Natasha because she's dealing with the next hurdle, perhaps the biggest hurdle of her political career yet. A 250,000 number of people have signed the petition that was submitted to the Electoral Umpire INEC earlier in the day, seeking to recall her from the National Assembly. Now let's speak to the political dimensions and what this entails for Nigeria's democratic process. I have with me for this particular session a man who needs very little introduction. Mr. Emmanuel Osemeka is here to provide us with some political and, I dare say, wise commentary on what this means for Nigeria going forward. And also joining us from Kogi virtually is Honorable Abdulhamid Aminu. He's the youth leader of Okene, in Okene local government area, and one of those who is close to the action in Kogi. Gentlemen, good evening to both of you, and thank you so much for joining the conversation. I'm going to start with you here in the studio, Mr. Emmanuel Osemeka. As always, good to see you. We've seen this development snowball from just a rancorous argument in plenary, devolve into a sexual allegation, devolve into 6-month suspension. Now we are witnessing perhaps the biggest part of the hurdle for Senator Natasha, at least. She's dealing with a possibility of seeing her representing Kogi Central come to a premature end should this petition succeed. Your thoughts?
The petition will not succeed. I've never met Senator.
Is that a prayer or?
It's a categorical statement.
Right.
Based on clear experience and based on the Nigerian political history. I've never met Senator Natasha before. I do not intend to meet her. I'm not interested. I have no dog in this fight. However, I'm a stickler for procedures and processes. We have clear-cut constitutional provisions, and those who drive the constitutional, if we implement the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, must be seen to follow the spirit and the letter of the Constitution. Yes, like you rightly said, this came from an argument of whether seat was changed or seat was not changed or whatever it was worth, and change of committee membership or chairmanship or whatever the issue were, to sexual harassment allegation, then to suspension. And for me, one of the most ironic part of that suspension was when the Senate President said that for 6 months she should not be referred to as a senator. Under what law? Under what rules? Sometimes it's a shame for me to sit here and even discuss this, because I expected more from the Senate President. The last time I was with you, we had that short conversation. Some of my friends vilified me that I sentenced the Senate President before hearing his side of the story. And I told them clearly that probably didn't listen to the conversation, because what I brought was historical perspective. What had happened with the Senate President, with other people who claimed. I didn't say anything beyond what happened. Then I made a commentary on what I thought he should have done within the Senate. Now, the reality is that you can't be a judge in your own case. That has been my own argument all this while.
But he was never a judge, was he?
Yes, he was. The moment there were issues, so let's take, for example, we've heard former Senate President Bukola Saraki make a statement, and there were videos that came to the limelight where Senator Akpabio himself wanted to speak from a seat that was not allocated to him. And that seat he wanted to sit on did not even have a microphone. He argued vehemently for hours with the Senate President. And the Senate President kept saying, I have asked the clerk. The clerk said, he did not give you that seat. The clerk got up and said, I told the senator that seat does not have a microphone. The senator said, this is where I want to sit.
Yeah, but hasn't all of that been overtaken by events now? Because now we're talking about a recall process. What has Akpabio got to do with the recall process?
Why I'm going back to that is that, in my view, I thought that because the Senate president was once a governor who managed the whole state, I mean, he's been in politics for far longer than Natasha. Taking a look at what Senate President Bukola Saraki did with him and how he handled the matter and it was resolved easily, I thought he would have traveled that route. Unfortunately, he went the way he wanted to go. Now,
which is?
He went, I mean, she was...
You're making it sound like Senate President Godswill Akpabio unilaterally suspended her. That wasn't what happened. It was a committee recommendation, a prayer was sent. He, as the presiding officer, only has to read the prayer, and then his colleagues would decide, yay or nay. And they decided to go with the committee. So it wasn't Akpabio's decision.
From what we heard, when we said yay or nay, those that went the other way, he went the other way. But that's a different conversation anyway. He's the presiding officer, he holds the gavel, whatever he decides is what it is. But let's not even go into that matter. Why I'm traveling this route is that it is clearly obvious that those who are pursuing this recall is not the persons you're seeing on television or whatever. The reality is, I do not expect that over, is it 25,000 or 250,000? 250,000 signatures will go through. Why? The reality is that from what we've gathered, those people who were called out for an empowerment.
In one incident?
Well, that's what some say in one incident, some say in so many other incidents. Because at some point, the people began to wonder, why are they calling them? And they were made to sign. Now, the reality is that I've seen many people. When I went to do my voter registration, I saw several people who came to do collect their, to capture. But their signatures were incorrect, or should I say irregular. They had their driver's license or voter or national ID card. The signature they signed while looking at the document they had was completely irregular. How much more people who can't even remember what they signed in the past? But that's one way. But for me, I'm wondering how within a week, 250,000 signatures were gathered. That must be some serious American wonder in Nigeria.
Right. Okay. I want to pick the brains of Abdulhamid Aminu, who is joining us virtually from Kogi. He's on the ground, so perhaps maybe he has some insights with regards to how this happened. Abdulhamid, what can you tell us about the political atmosphere in Kogi Central, for instance? And to the question, is there a chance that this 250,000 plus signatures are genuine signatures of constituents who are willing to recall their senator?
Good evening, my brother. Thank you very much for having me. Realistically, I was on ground. I'm not talking from a hearsay. Like I said, I was on ground. I participated in the process. I am from Okene local government, from Okene by Agasa Ahachi ward to be precise. And in my own hamlet, where I come from, Okowa, I took charge of the entire recall process. First off, we started by sensitizing our people to let them know why we want this to scale through. Contrary to what some people are saying that will call people out for empowerment, it never happened. I have videos where I stood talking to my people to let them know why this should take place. And they came out with their PVCs. I can assure you that we did not anybody. They willingly came out and of course carried out or participated in that recall process. We didn't just start it in the day. It started by the sensitization. They were aware of what we're going into. We told them to think about it. Some of them were even eager because it's something that is already in the news. They've heard about it, they know what's going on, and they were ready to carry out the exercise immediately. But we said no.
Right.
Go and come back. By God's grace, this would kickstart mainly by tomorrow, where you would come with your PVCs, and from the PVCs, you will register your VI, and
Right.
of course sign, sign the forms. You understand? So
Yeah.
that is how it took place. I can assure you that with
Abdulhamid,
regards to the
just hold on for a
250,000
moment.
votes,
Just hold on for a moment. I don't know whether it's from your end or from our end. We're struggling to hear the audio clearly. Perhaps maybe speak a bit louder so that we can hear what you're saying. But also, I just want to ask.
but I can hear you.
I just want to ask this question straightforward. Are you a member of the APC or the PDP in your community?
To be very frank, I am a voter, but of course, I am also a member of the APC. That is very, very honest with
You're
you.
a member of APC.
I am a voter. I participate in the local politics in my community, but of course, I am an APC member.
Right.
This is to answer your question straight.
So doesn't that explain everything there? In the interest of full disclosure, you never wanted Natasha to represent you in the first place, so it makes sense, right?
That I never what? Come again, please.
Yeah, I'm saying that it doesn't matter whether she did something wrong or right. You never wanted her to represent you in the first place, so it makes sense that as an APC member, you would want to be a part of the recall process.
That is not true. That is not true. That is not true, because she is an Ibira person just like I am. And from where this is not a contest between one tribe to the other. There were people in the APC, I can tell you categorically for free, who voted for her during her senatorial election. They didn't mind the fact that she was in the PDP, but they voted for her even as AP. It's a matter of choice. I know this for sure. In fact, if all APC members were to vote for the APC candidate, there is no way she would have scaled through in the last election. You understand? So it's not about being an APC member or a PDP member. She won the election, although she was declared via the court, because of course an APC candidate was declared the winner by INEC at the first instance. Then she approached the court and she got her mandate from the court. That was what happened. But since she started as a senator, we've been watching through. Nobody has ever disturbed her. She'd come with her programs and she had done them successfully. She's been doing all the things that we've been seeing without any hindrance or disturbance whatsoever. You understand? But I am from Kogi Central. I am a concerned citizen from Kogi Central. I would not want to sit down and see my own senatorial district being ridiculed or being rubbished simply because we have a senator who is not there protecting our interests but engaging herself in some kind of fight with her superiors at the legislative chamber. Senator Natasha is sent there to go and represent and protect our best interest. But all we've been seeing just very recently are things we never expected. You can't, an Ibira person is known to be cultured. We are known to be decent and, of course, humble. We don't talk anyhow. We don't misbehave. You understand? There is no way we have a senator standing to start screaming at her superior and saying, I am not scared of you. That is not what we represent. A senator is supposed to go, lobby her interests, lobby her colleagues, try to fight the interests of her people, and of course, bring back home the dividends of democracy. That's what we expected. You understand? So we are embarrassed as a people. Okay, let me come from this angle. Assuming Senator Natasha was while given that seat, moved to that seat, and from the seat she was being assigned to, begin to talk to say, no, look, please, I am not properly covered by the media. I would not be able to voice out if I really want to. And she comes up with excuses. And this is happening to, I can tell you, I will be among those that would fight for our interest to say, no, you can't shut us out. And at the red chambers, our senator deserves to be heard and must be given a seat. Maybe by now, we would have been agitating on a very strong term that going forward, seats before being allocated to senators, they should be prior notices. But this never happened.
Okay.
That is not what she was very, very arrogant. She's too where she was. And she was attacking the authorities who were presiding.
Just a moment, Abdulhamid. Just a moment there. I just want to interject on the veracity of the allegations and why the constituency and people like you, for instance, I suppose you have already signed that petition that has been submitted to the Independent National Electoral Commission to process what will be an unprecedented move in Kogi Central Senatorial District. Your thoughts on what Abdulhamid had to say there regarding the resolve of the district and why he thinks this recall process is quite popular with the constituents because of what happened?
It is very unfortunate. I wish my senator is like Senator Natasha. There is no senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria today that has done better than that woman in representing her people. It's not about me saying. There's a documentary out there on her 1 year in office, just 1 year in office. Don't forget she came in like 5 months or thereabouts after others had come in. A lot of the senators from there's Dafinone, the leader of the minority, there were about 20-something senators that accompanied her to commission a lot of her projects for 1 year. And sir, yes, politicians can say things, but when you listen to what these senators were saying, they were marveled. Many of them were like, how did she achieve this within such a short time? If I can choose the words, if I can remember the words of Senator, the former Minister of Interior, what's his name now, from Benue State, the minority leader in the Senate.
Senator Moro.
Abba Moro, yes. Senator Abba Moro said that he's surprised that even him has not been able to achieve this level, that she's underrated. Let me be very honest with you, sir. My senator has not done 50% of what Senator Natasha has done for her people.
But isn't it true that they're not arguing what she did? I mean, I think Abdulhamid also acknowledged that...
The constituents are not complaining. The politicians are not complaining.
I get the point. Even those who submitted the petition say, listen, this is not about her past. This is about what comes next. They cannot afford to do without representation for the next 6 months and probably much more than that going into the future.
I'm ashamed of those constituents who choose not to stand by their senator. Have they investigated the matter? Have they investigated any of these matters? Or is just a question of giving a dog a bad name just to hang? The fact is that she's very vociferous in her personality is quite out there. She's not someone you can put down. Let's be very honest. I've not met this woman. Every man agrees that she's a beautiful woman. And most beautiful women intimidate men, naturally. It's left for us to admit or not admit it. I'm not interested in whether the harassment happened or it didn't happen. They've chosen not to investigate it, so fine and good. She's going about it the way she deems fit. Do I agree with the way she's going about it? No. Do I agree with some of the ways Natasha has handled that matter? No. But is it enough for a recall? The answer is no. And the reality is, if you go down to the constituents, to all the constituencies, all the local government and wards that make up her senatorial district, you will be shocked that more than 80% of the people do not want that to be recalled.
Right. Okay. Abdulhamid, back to you now. Clearly, this is an issue that has polarized viewpoints across party lines, across gender lines. I just want to get your take on this 250,000 plus signatures. I suppose your signature is one of them. In an election that the total vote cast was less than 120,000. How did you manage to convince 250,000 people to sign that petition in record time? I dare say that there is no petition that has garnered this many signatures in the history of Nigeria. I stand to be corrected, but how did you do it?
Thank you very much, my brother. But I can assure you for the fact that the signatures we garnered is over 250,000. It's not just 250,000. Our people are aware. Our people have been following and they know what is going on with our senator at the National Assembly. And of course, the way she's been going on embarrassing our constituency and of course, the state at large. You know, so it's a kind of mindset our people have been boiling and waiting for an opportunity for us to speak up before they take an action. So they were prepared and awaiting our decisions. Immediately we entered, or we went back home and tell them that, look, this is what has been going. They said they are aware. Okay, this is what we decide to do. They said they are ready. I can assure you that the kind of turnout we received or we saw in that recall process have never been witnessed in the history of Kogi Central. They came out in numbers. They came, in fact, if not for the scotches, to an extent of us were no longer okay. We had to tell them that, look, go home. We would have gathered as much more than as expected. You know, so if they are saying 250,000, we did. We gathered. Look, in Kogi Central, we have over 860 something polling units.
Abdulhamid,
we have about 57 wards. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. There's a video that is going to show on the screen right now. I don't know if you can see it from where you are, but this are videos that have been making rounds of how those signatures were gathered. You see people allegedly just with voter register filling in those forms. That is surely not hundreds of thousands of people. What do you say to these claims that this is how all these signatures were gathered? You got access to the voter register and you decided to fill in the pages, and that's how you got to 250,000 plus.
I don't know where this is coming from. This is surprising to me. Like I said, I can send you videos right now as we're chatting. I know what happened in our constituency. I sat on the table, sat on my chair, and of course, attending to my people coming with their PVCs, and we were recording. Of course, after the recording, they would sign. That was what happened in my country. I am not everywhere, and I do not believe in that cooked up video that they are busy sharing around. Like I told you, it is political. People want to discredit what some people have done. That video is a video we do not believe in, and it didn't happen because there was nothing that happened inside the bedroom or inside a secluded place. Everything took place in an open space, in an open field. People came, participated, and of course signed for the recall of this woman. You know, we are not doing it because we hate her. Our women, the number of the women that came out is much more of a number. You know, nobody hates her. Nobody is saying a woman cannot lead. And somebody like my brother there is saying she's beautiful. She's not the most beautiful woman from Kogi Central. We have a lot of other beautiful women that are better than her by far in all ramifications. She was lucky. She contested and she won. She came in, like I said, via the court. Not that she was declared the winner by INEC. She approached the court to say there were irregularities, and then they gave it to her. That was how she became our senator. And since she became a very serious problem to our constituency. This is somebody who has no respect for the Ohinoi of Ibira land. Since the Ohinoi of Ibira land became the Ohinoi, she had not visited him for once. She had not paid homage. There are a lot of issues against her. Our people are not happy with that kind of representation, and you're saying we should not come out to exercise or participate. But we will definitely do that. We are not happy with the way she is behaving locally and the one she's doing nationally and internationally. You know, that is not what an average Ibira man represents. We are known for good character. That is not what she is showing or portraying outside. So in such situation, instead of her to embarrass all of us, it's better we do the need. Finally, before I stop, I want to say that I was an SLA at the House of Assembly. I know if you say you're suspending someone for 6 months, it won't be calculated for just 6 months. It will roughly go into as much as 9 months to a year because the legislative calendar reads Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursday for sittings. You know, so Kogi Central cannot continue to stay like that without having a representation at the Senate. On that basis, our people cannot continue to be shut out. There are lots we want our senator to try to bring for us, and we have to come out to do the needful at the right time. This is what we are doing, and this is what we have done.
All right. So
whatever we have done meets all requirements. Our people came out and voted, and I'm signed that they want her back home. And by she's going to come back
Abdulhamid. All right. Point made there. It's also something to be said about the Iberalan not standing by their daughter or their representative. Some would say they expected the same kind of solidarity the likes of Akpabio enjoyed during this whole turmoil, that Senator Natasha would perhaps enjoy the benefit of doubt, that perhaps she might be right about some of these allegations, but you know, you're an APC member, so I can understand the confliction there, at least politically speaking. But just before we wrap things up, right? We're talking about uncharted waters here. We've been here before several times in the respect of there's a chance that it could happen. You think it's not going to happen, but the senator at the center of this whole saga recently came out in a statement saying, listen, I'm not going to apologize. She believes she's been politically victimized and she's going to stand her ground. Let what happen may, right? Give me a sense of how you see this whole saga come to an end. From the suspension to the recall, it doesn't appear that the diplomacy is working here, or there's even a diplomatic approach to this whole imbroglio.
That's one of the reasons why I'm a bit disappointed, because I thought that, someone like me, I've been accused of something similar.
Sexual harassment, or?
Yeah, something like that.
Right.
As a CEO of an organization, I was practically based in Maiduguri.
Right.
And this lady, NYC lady, she's supposed to come from my place or so.
Right.
So through her mom, she came and she wanted to serve in our organization. So we kept her in Abuja office. She fought with everybody in my office. The accountant, the head of that's admin, account. There's no day that goes by that I don't do conflict resolution. So at some point, I told her she has to go. And I told her if she doesn't go, that I'll have to write. I don't want to spoil her record by writing NYC to say, please send her somewhere else. And she flipped it. I went to NYC and claimed that I sexually harassed her. So I was first shocked, surprised, and the question was, how? When? How many times have we met? So I told NYC, investigate. The lady at the NYC called me privately and said, there's no need to investigate anything, that she thinks I should just reject her. I said, yes, we're happy to reject her, but we want to clear this. And for us to clear this, we want you to investigate and come to a conclusion. Independently. Whether it doesn't matter if you find me guilty or not, but please investigate, because we used to get a lot of NYC youth corpers to come do their primary assignment with us and all that. So the NYC lady refused, said she doesn't want to investigate anything. I don't know why she didn't want to investigate. So I took it up. So when I took it up, it got to NYC headquarters and a committee was set up. They just called me and said, Emmanuel, we see that you've taken a lot of our NYC people and nobody has ever accused you. Whatever this is, please, let's kill it. That was how that ended. And that was the last time I took NYC personnel in my office till tomorrow. Sometimes you have to subject yourself to certain vagaries to be able to prove a point. And for me, she's been given 6 months suspension. Whether she wants to apologize is up to her. Whether she doesn't want to apologize is up to her. Between herself and the Senate president, both of them know what happened between them.
Right.
Between herself and the leadership of the National Assembly, they all know the truth, whatever truth is in whatever area. The reality is that by law, the Senate cannot suspend the senator for more than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they've gone for 6 months. 6 months might hold, 6 months might not hold.
Right.
I don't know how it's going to pan out, but I know that eventually everybody will be all right.
Okay. And Abdulhamid, just a yes or no from you. If she succeeds in the court of law and wins against this suspension and she's recalled back, would you forgo the idea of recalling her, or would you continue? Yes or no?
It is a fight to finish. She's going to come back home, and we're going to ensure this recall process comes to a logical completion.
Okay.
She's coming back home.
All right. You know what? I don't even blame you for the most part, because you have your own reasons for thinking this way. But of course, Abdulhamid, thank you so much for joining the conversation. Appreciate you for your thoughts on this one. Emmanuel Osemeka, as always, thank you so much for providing us with some context to this very important conversation. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right. That is our show for you tonight. Thank you most kindly for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow live at 8 p.m. We look forward to seeing you next time. Good evening. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed.